A very good afternoon and welcome back to Havana Media. My name is Boniface Owino and as usual I'm going to be your host for today. Now, it's a very good Monday, but unfortunately for the families that lost their loved ones, or the families that their loved ones had been abducted, it's quite unfortunate for them, even though we are hearing that one of them has been released. That is the brother to Billy. I don't know whether it's Billy or the brother, but that one aside. And before I give my guest chance to speak, I would like to say this, that, it's very much painful for families to not have their loved ones. And the president is telling us things that even as Kenyans, we know very well that they are not true, keeping on lying to us every now and then. And even his alliance people like Oscar Sudi are threatening Kenyans. Those are the things that I want us to talk about, and also the issue of the Mandamano that we are supposed to have today, being led by the Gen Zs. Now, let me just give them chance to tell us the names, and then who they are, or who they were before they are where they are, and then we jump back to our discussion. I will start by Honorable Stephen Owoko.
Oh, karibuni sana. My name is Stephen Owoko, presidential aspirant 2027. Thank you.
Mr. Stephen Owoko, or Honorable Stephen Owoko, I want to ask you a question. Back in 2022, you are one of the presidential candidates who are not allowed, or who are, well, let me use the word, kicked out before the election. I don't know how you took it. How did you take it?
I think there's what we call fate, and there's time for everything. We accepted and we moved on. Maybe it was not my time to be president, and God was preparing me for maybe 2027. So that's something that we put behind us. We've learned from our mistakes, the flaws, and we are now prepared for the future.
So you are well prepared for the 2027.
That's right.
Okay, we'll come back to that. Honorable Dan, it's your time.
Oh, to introduce myself.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Thank you. Last time I was here was around early November. My name is Dan Lukorito, and I'm a very proud Kenyan from Webuye East constituency. I was telling you about last year.
Yeah. Telling us, not me. Telling us.
Yes. I disappeared a bit because I had some misfortunes. I lost some people very close to me. But I want to quickly send my condolences to the parents of the young people who have been killed by this regime, and condemn it. We have to condemn this. We cannot keep burying our heads in the sand when the young people of this country are disappearing and turning up dead, like it happened. I saw a report about two of them who are found dead. One in Kasarani, I don't know, Mwiki, and somebody else from somewhere else. These are people's children, and my heart goes out to that parent I saw crying in court the other day about his child.
Billy's father, eh?
And we will not stop reminding the government that it is not the problem of the young people. The problem was the finance bill. We talked about it. They ignored. The problem is unemployment. We talked about it. They ignored again. The problem is the fact that these young people are idle. They have nothing to do. It is the duty of the government to create job opportunities for these people that they are now labeling, I don't know, indisciplined. They are not indisciplined. They are just expressing themselves. As long as we are not providing opportunities for them, we are looking forward to having even more of this year. Otherwise, Happy New Year, everybody. Looking forward to interacting with you as we go on.
Now, just a quick one. I just want us to go direct. Now, Honorable Dan, no, not Dan, but Stephen.
Yes.
And now this is a question. The first question that I want to ask you, I don't know how you're going to handle it or how you're going to tackle it, because being that you're one of the people that on the last demonstration, that is on Monday, I saw you being arrested by the police. you together with some other Kenyans and also Honorable Okio Mtata.
Yeah.
You are with them.
Yeah.
So can you tell us the experience and how it felt, the experience itself?
First, let me put it this way. Some of us, we died long time ago. It's just waiting the confirmation.
That is so funny.
Yeah, so whatever experience we were going through, it's not something that we should compare with the pains and the sorrows, the tears, the death of the Kenyan people, what they're going through. And so we were doing it for the sake, for the voiceless, those who have no feet, those who are so weak, those who cannot go out and demand for what rightfully belongs to them. So we came out, and by the time we were leaving our houses to go in the streets, we were expecting that anything can happen. We were not we were expecting you might not come back alive, because there's a government that is so happy, trigger happy, the government that is killing people. So just being put in prison is minute compared to the sacrifice we had made before we went to the streets. Let me put that, they treated us so well. We were in the cell. The next day they took us to the court, and they were demanding that we be detained for 14 days as they investigate what to charge us with. They didn't have any charge sheet. We didn't take any plea. So they were saying these are people are likely, seems to have likely or to have made some crimes. So give us 14 days to.
So they were using the assumptions.
Assumption. They wanted 14 days to investigate. Yeah, and then the court denied that. We were bailed or cash bail of 1,000 shillings. That's okay. So the experience was that not a big deal, not a big deal.
How was the experience seeing Martha Karua together with Kalonzo Musyoka coming there, and also Eugene Wamalwa? You are seeing them coming to defend you.
This was a national discourse. When I say that, we are there. What we were doing, the ones who have been abducted, is just the tip of the iceberg. There is a who cry in the whole nation. Things are not working. And because things are not working, those who are dared to challenge, to question why, are being abducted and are being killed. So when they came to show solidarity, and let me put it this way, anyone, be it the devil, who also is against this system, to us is a brother. Yeah, anybody, from wherever direction, from wherever place he comes from, who is against this government and President Ruto is a brother, and we give them a right hand of fellowship.
So you're trying to say that right now, if at all, maybe a lot of people are putting on black clothes, and then there is one that is putting on a white cloth, we'll remove the white one and remain with the dark clothes.
We have one duty to fire Ruto 2027. And if we can do it earlier, the better. Yeah, that's our collective responsibility as a people.
So just after the experience that you had, I also want to ask you this question, that you know that you are going to become the president, and being that the way William Ruto is dealing with us, now he's the president. Now I want you to put yourself in that position, that now you are the William Ruto. No, not the William Ruto, the way he's behaving, but now you are the president. And you are seeing the way Kenyans are crying every now and then, that your leadership is not okay. How would you handle it?
One, who is Ruto? Ruto did not come from the moon and the Venus. It's somebody you have known all along. And let me remind you, leadership position does not change a person. It manifests who a person is. That's why before they employ you, they ask for the background check. They ask you and go and bring, is it good conduct? If you are to employ Ruto that cannot bring up good conduct, he has been accused in the International Criminal Court. And one of the reasons why the charges were dropped, because there were abductions, there were murders and disappearances. That's what he is. This is a person who has been accused and fined for having grabbed somebody's property. There's somebody who is in the Ndungu report about land grabbing, but we decided to entrust him with our lives. Like P.L. Lumumba always says, when you take a hyena to be in charge of your children and the sheep, and then he's starting eating your children and the sheep, then you complain. We knew who Ruto was, but without of all the whatever it takes, we decided to entrust him to be in charge of our lives, our future, and our nation. So the mistake is not Ruto. The mistake is us. We made a mistake and we have learned the mistake. So this is what he is. The issue of abductions, even before he became president, the one who was in charge of his office was abducted and shot dead. I don't know, the one who was in charge of his office. And so many abductions, there are days. So, and when Ruto became president, the first abduction was of Rai, the billionaire. And we cheered him when he said, Edo wende binguni, au gereza. We cheered him. You see, that was the time we could have said no. And when Ruto was the vice president, he was the deputy chairman of the internal security, because we have 9 people who's in the committee. He was. And during that time, we were people being abducted and found in, is it Muranga River, and later, where do you call it? Yala. So this is just a continuation. And he did make a promise by acknowledging that there were abductions and murders. And he said, under my watch, there will be no abduction. So it's just a continuation of who and what he is. Nothing new.
We'll come back to that. Now now that you've mentioned the issue of abduction, I want Honorable Dan Lukorito I want you to answer this question. A lot of people are complaining. And let me start by asking you this. When a child is born, and then this child decides not to cry, and then I think the person that is helping the mother to give birth has got 2 options. It's either you leave the child to die, or you do something for the child to cry, not to die. Now, talking about that, when people elected William Ruto as the president, people knew, of course, some people had already known who he was, or who he was by then, yeah? But we assumed. Just like Honorable Stephen have said, that we knew who he was, but we elected him. The issue of abduction. We had yesterday and the other time, Honorable Kipchumba Murkomen. Kipchumba Murkomen, not even Murkomen. We had got Oscar Sudi and then Kimani Chungwa when they were in Bungoma. I think that is in your place. That is why I felt it right for you to answer this question. That the abductions and the killings which were done back then during the last regime, during the time of Uhuru Kenyatta, George Natembeya was the one that was doing it. And right now, why are you laughing? And then right now, you find that they're also accusing the former deputy president, that is Rigathi Gachagua, of doing the same. So what can you say about these abductions?
One, before we address the issue of abductions, which has been addressed millions of times by millions of people, I want to take us back to before the last election and even the other elections that we've had. There was a time when you stood and spoke the truth. You are labeled an ODM sympathizer.
Yeah.
There was a time when Uhuru was popular. If you stood against him, then you are labeled, you are supporting so and so, somebody who is against Uhuru. Let's come to Ruto. The presidential candidate has rightly put that we elected this guy knowing who he is. And I personally, I really don't regret the organizing I did for the Hustler team. I was the national organizing secretary. And I am proud of what I did. Not because I didn't know. But you see, we had a situation. We had a situation where we are working on voting out an unpopular candidate then, who was Uhuru Kenyatta, who had decided to support somebody else, and all the evils that were happening were blamed on Uhuru Kenyatta. So in the absence of a better candidate, Ruto became like Malema used to say, in the absence of the best, Ruto became the best at that time. And how did he become the best? By, in quotes, putting on, what do we say about the condor and the ngozi?
The goat skin.
Yes, the goat skin. And he went, I remember I was part of the team that visited some of the churches in this country. And he went and raised the Bible and pretended to be one of them. Them, you know them, those ones I'm referring to. And we are all regretting today because of what he's doing. Church leaders have stood up boldly and told him, you are not one of us. You are not doing what we expected. So it is not only those of us who are in the system, who are campaigning for him, that are disappointed, but the whole country is disappointed. Let's get to the issue of George Natembeya and Bungoma. Governor Natembeya spoke the truth. It is true. The level of poverty in Western is beyond the heavens. It is so high. People are very poor. It is true the children are being abducted every day. And the question was simple. Why don't we stop this? And why don't we address the issue of poverty? Yeah. Then somebody all the way from, where is Kimani Ichung'wah from?
From Kikuyu.
I was imagining myself all the way from Western, standing somewhere in Kiambu and lecturing a leader from Kiambu, and then the people of that region clap for me. On that one, I really don't agree with the majority of those. Okay, of course, there are those who are paid to come there and heckle. So they were told, if so-and-so stands up, don't even listen to what they say.
But Honorable, you are the one who have said that you're wondering why the Western people are very poor. That is one.
There.
Yeah, that is one of the ways. That is one of the signs.
There. That is one of the problems now. These people are so poor that you can be told, come, I'll give you 200 shillings, and they come and shout themselves hoarse. Some dance themselves lame, and they are given 200 shillings and they go home. That one doesn't solve the problem that is there. That is the problem of poverty. Now, if I were in a position of leadership, I'd have ignored some of those things. I'd not have told Kimani Ichung'wah to go and say what he said, because he made things worse. And like I said when we were opening, this government should not think that these matters are ending. It is actually going to be, people are getting more emboldened. If they abduct more, more will come up. Because we are not ready. None of us is ready for a dictatorship. We have a constitution, and when we elect you, including you, sir, in case you get that position, when we elect you, we expect that you will follow the constitution and treat Kenyans as with respect. When you get used to lying to people until you reach a point of even believing your own lies, I want to still believe that our president is not a madman. So I know deep inside him, he also knows there is something he needs to do. And he has gotten enough advice from different areas. He needs to simply deal with the issue of the high cost of living, provide employment, and these things will go away. If he doesn't address them, however much Kina Sudi threaten us with I listened to another guy called Kamket. I don't know.
Who was saying about 24 years? Who was
saying about extending to 24 years. I don't know which country he comes from, because we have a constitution in this country and it doesn't allow anybody to go beyond 2 terms. And if these people are going to say in 2027 to Ruto, enough is enough. Kenyans are not stupid. We will not fall into that trap of, fighting each other in 2027. We will simply vote like we voted in 2022, and there will be a clear winner. Na Waswahili wanasema amani haiji ila kwa
pincha ya upanga.
Si ni kweli? Na kila mtu atasimama na panga yake, symbolically speaking.
Like Israel.
so that we see now who is this person that will be coming to mess up our elections. I can confirm here today that if elections were called today, myself and those people I talk to, by the way, there are some out there who are still mad at me for standing with Ruto in the last election.
What if I'm also mad at you?
If so many people have been mad at me, including Mheshimiwa
You just apologize and then
and I've
accept.
apologized enough times. But this time, if Ruto were to run for election today, he will not get my vote. That one I can assure you.